We ain't got time for the crap de la crap. We're talking creme de la creme. Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. Today, the best of the best. We're talking about modern fragrances, newer releases, stuff that you can wear in almost any occasion that everybody is gonna love, that's gonna help set you apart from the bros wearing the Savage or the sausage. Dior sausage. Yeah, you know that one. Everything is gonna be linked below. The first fragrance, as you may have seen, is, dang it, is this one. Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Cologne Forte. This is new and it's a limited edition. Now some of you guys out there are not gonna be aware of the L'Homme Ideal line at all, or what I mean when I say but essentially every time they come out with like a spring, summertime fragrance, it's here for like 3-4 months and then basically disappears off the face of the planet. Now that used to be more of an issue before, unless I'm misremembering, which I could be, but they didn't say the other ones were limited editions, really. So stuff like Platine Privé or Cologne or Cool that you're seeing over here, yeah, those were out for like 2 seconds and then gone. This one, they're telling you right off the rip, hey, if you like this, tough duty. Who am I playing? They mean to tell you tough shit, because they're telling you right away that they're gonna discontinue it and flip you off while doing so. Thanks, Guerlain. You guys are the homies. I'm just playing, of course, but it is truly a limited edition, which means if you want it, get it, because it's gonna be gone. And this stuff is killer. Especially if, like me, you enjoyed the other summertime fragrances in this lineup. It's icy and fresh and brisk off the top, fantastic smelling citrus that doesn't go rindy or pithy. It just stays bracing and clean. You also have a little bit of a creamy almond in here that ties it in with the other fragrances in the lineup. You have cinnamon that gives it a nice little bit of warmth as it dries down, because this fragrance is kind of like a juxtaposition of icy and fiery. Once it dries, you have a nice woodiness that comes out in here as well. Just smells amazing. And for the 15th time, given that this is a limited edition, most people in the US and Canada, to be fair, don't even really know about this, so it's gonna set you apart a lot from the other people out there, and it smells top notch. Ralph's Club New York by Ralph Lauren. This stuff right here, year round. Does not matter, whenever you wanna wear it, you wear it. The opening is hyper addictive. It really is. It's one of those things that you smell it the first time and you're like, oh, it's good, it's good. I get it, you know, versatile, all that stuff. Nice, smells good. But then by the second or third time you wear it, suddenly you're craving it. And then the 5th, 6th, 7th time, you're like, what did they put in there? It's something illegal. I can tell you that much. In actuality, what it is a nice fruity opening anchored by black currant, so it's gonna give you a nice bit of sweetness meets tartness off the top. Hyper modern, masculine, woodsy dry down gives it that versatility where you can use it, like I said before, year round. Huge compliment puller. The bottle ever so slightly larger than average, 110 mils, 10% bigger for your pleasure. And it's just a great alternative to the more popular, better selling blue fragrances out there. So if you want something that essentially is, for all intents and purposes, a blue fragrance, that's pretty much what this is, but you don't want Y, you don't want Bleu de Chanel, you don't want Sauvage, this right here is awesome. And especially as time goes on, the price would, I imagine, continue to drop at discounters, which every dollar that it does makes that a better and better buy. I love this stuff. Legitimately super easy to wear. What next? Let's see. Afnan, Lynked, Freedom. So most of you guys know that right now it's like vanilla season. As far as fragrances go, like half the things coming out are vanilla forward in one way, shape, or form. Whether they want to say it's tonka that smells like vanilla, or that it's vanilla, or that it's amber that smells like vanilla, that's pretty big right now. Also pretty big, fragrances that smell similar to YSL's Myself. And wouldn't you know it, this does both of those things. It's a clone fragrance that is a combination of designers. And one of the main things that it is YSL's Myself. Off the top, as soon as you spray this on, if you're familiar with that scent, you're gonna be like, oh, there it is. Fresh, clean, citrusy, that whole vibe hits you as soon as you spray this stuff on. Now, as it starts to dry down, it takes on some facets from fragrances like Stronger With You and also the Most Wanted Parfum. So basically, this is the fragrance if you had somebody who is sitting on the sidelines just watching everything that's selling right now and going, okay, we're gonna do Some of that, and we're gonna, some of that. Essentially like a sports scout, like somebody who's going out and going, oh, that guy pretty good. They did the same thing here, and then they just said, what if we just copied all that and put it together in one bottle and then sold that and called it our own thing? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? That's what they did. To be fair though, it absolutely works. This stuff crushes and it gives you year-round versatility. So if you don't want to spend as much money to get a bottle of Stronger With You and a bottle of the Most Wanted Parfum and myself, and you wanted something that just kind of does all of those things, you can just get this. Although I would say maybe it's not quite as hyper-focused as those fragrances. That would be the trade-off. Smells amazing, like I said, but you know, the Most Wanted Parfum, that is gonna be the better true fall wintertime fragrance, and the original myself is gonna be the better true spring summertime fragrance. But if you want one that just kind of rocks and does all of it, oh yeah, okay. Check this out. I'm an idiot. I was gonna throw the bottle and I didn't have a grip. Check this out. Gucci Guilty Elixir. You know what this smells like, guys? It smells quite similar to a fragrance that you may have heard of called Amouage Reflection Man. If it had a baby with Parfums Marley's Pegasus. Those niche brands, you gotta keep them separated. Otherwise they end up, you know, doing things and, Now, since this is named Elixir, that means the designer house of Gucci is going to charge you a premium for the privilege of wearing the fragrance. Thanks, Gucci. Will the cap pop? No, trash. Trash. When are these brands gonna learn? Now, Guilty Elixir, this stuff is obviously a little bit niche leaning as far as how it comes across, obviously because it smells similar to two different niche fragrances. But as far as your designer scents out there, the quality here is fantastic. So yes, it's gonna cost you more, it's gonna run more, but thankfully it does have great performance. So that means the smaller amount of fragrance that's in here does go a little further. You know, you get a little extra bang for your buck. Classy? Yeah, you're darn right. Amazing for spring, summer, fall, and winter, daytime or evening, either one. This is for the guy who wants to feel like his life is put together as everything around him crashes and burns. But at least when people smell you, they'll be like, that guy, he seems like he doesn't go home and cry into a bowl of Fruity Pebbles cereal while watching reruns of Friends. And that is nobody out there at all. That's none of you guys for sure. Guilty Elixir, does it rip? Yes, it does. Code alert, guys. Got a new one for Frag Flex. Gents 10. That'll save you 10% off the website. So if you would like to save money at FragFlex, you can now use this code to save yourself money at FragFlex. Also, Gift Express nerfed their code. 5% off is what it gives you. The code is Gents 10, but does it give you 10% off? No! Gift Express, thank you. Cool, guys. I think that if you spend over a certain amount, it's supposed to go back to 10%, like $200. I think they originally said $150, but I think it might be $200. All the other codes that you see here, you can use like usual because they have not been nerfed. Next scent, Throne Eclipse. This stuff is heavenly, brother. Take you to the limit. Take you to the next realm, dimension of fragrance, fragrosity. You're gonna open up your nose holes. You're gonna open up your third eye. It does all of it. This stuff is legitimately sick. I'm talking incurable disease levels of sick. I love this scent. It smells, again, like fragrances flopped and slopped together, but in the best of ways. This time, Clive Christian's Blonde Amber, which is, I think, not named after Margot Robbie, because she's blonde and could have like a tan, but I think it's named after just like the stone, like amber, I think, if it had blonde hair. So it smells like Blonde Amber. It gives you that amazing sort of dried, fruity booziness off the top, immediately attention grabbing, projects really well initially also. Like you spray this stuff out, oof, immediately grabs attention. My own as well. If I'm the only one around, I'll spray it in the air and get my own attention. And then as it dries down, you get yourself that Altair that comes out. So basically you're getting two hype beasts for the price of a third of what one of those hype beasts would be, or actually even less than that. Throne Eclipse, fall, winter time, absolutely lights out. Super modern, super popular, super hated on when it first came out. Paradigme by Prada Paradigm. This thing right here, to people who have smelled a million fragrances, they may smell it and go, it's a little bit blasé, my friend. It's not really doing it for me, not really getting my Russells jimmied. But I'll tell you what, as far as Anytime wear scents that women love, one of the best ones out there. The opening I find interesting, nice, citrusy, a little bit green. As it dries down, you get geranium that comes out that gives you a somewhat similar vibe to the YSL Myself line. Doesn't smell the same as those necessarily, but it's playing in the same ballpark, it's playing at the same club. Got some nice warmth and sweetness as the fragrance dries down. Benzoin gonna be one of the main notes in there. And this is one that realistically you wear whenever you want, though it does have maybe slightly more of a lean toward spring and fall. Also in typical Prada fashion, just a little touch, a little hint of soapiness to keep you clean, to keep you smelling put together. Let's bust one out that I hated on when it came out. Y Elixir by Yves Saint Laurent. It has one of those certified turd atomizers. You gotta love those. Where the fragrance brand are all just sitting around taking shots of Four Loko. I got a great idea. We're gonna charge them almost 200 bucks on that atomizer. It's gonna barely work. F them. I don't care how decent that looks on camera. The atomizer on this thing sucks. So Y Elixir, really interesting one, because when it was announced, it was like, oh, here's Y done with really high-end natural ingredients, including oud. So everyone was like, oh my God, what is this gonna be? They're taking a shot, dude. They are going out there wild, man. Yeah, these dudes are just insane. I like that. And then it came out and everybody realized, oh, oud. Gotcha. And I do wonder here, because this is like a refillable bottle. A lot of these fragrances, they're refillable and they have kind of worse atomizers, we'll say, than they used to. But I will say I have not worn a ton of Y Elixir, okay? I've not worn a ton, but I feel like it is evaporating. Yeah, you can see that, right? Like it's missing a decent amount here. Now I have worn this a little bit, but I haven't worn it, I feel like that much. Mainly because I have a few things to wear. So I can't wear it like every day and really make a big dent in the bottle is what I'm saying. If any of you out there are suffering the same thing with this bottle, let me know in the comments. I'm wondering if YSL has made their bottles where they're all gonna evaporate on us. Back to the actual fragrance, note breakdown, super simple. Lavender, geranium, oud, and frankincense. It is not really that far removed from Y Eau de Parfum and Y Eau de Parfum Intense. Maybe not quite as sweet as Y Eau de Parfum, a little bit classier, a little bit higher end, sure. Touch of fresh incense, a nice little faint dark woodiness as it dries down. But if we're talking about scents that people do really love, they do love this one. It's maybe not the most impressive thing for the price point for a whole lot of guys out there, but if we're talking about getting the highest end Y fragrance that will still pull attention, that does have that usability year round, that you can wear in more formal occasions or more casual occasions, and it's gonna work equally as well in both, that will do it. Check it out, something new, Scandal Elixir. Realizing that there are a bunch of elixirs in here. So this is the newest Scandal fragrance, and it makes use of black cherry off the top, which I gotta say, grows on you a lot. First, probably 3 times that I wore this one, the cherry didn't hit me as hard. I was expecting something like a cherry note used in a Tom Ford fragrance, I guess. Like a really big punch of cherry that just slaps me in the face right off the top. But instead, this one is more reserved, more reined in. You also have tonka in here, a little touch of patchouli, very dumbed down, no breakdown once again. Really good performance, sticks around, projects well, and for me, it is right there toward the top, the best of the best with the Scandal fragrances for men, with Scandal Absolute. I think this one and that one both just absolutely, hands down, amazing. And I actually prefer how the cherry is used in this scent for this particular type of fragrance. If it had a big wallop of sugar off the top, I feel like it wouldn't work quite as well. This one keeps things a little bit more sexy, a little bit more intimate, even with that big performance. Ravine Ice is up next. This is by French Avenue, and this is a clone of a very popular Goldfield and Banks. And that scent is, of course, Pacific Rock Moss. So this is gonna be more of a spring, summertime type of fragrance overall. It is quite sweet, really fresh. It has that aromatic feel to it that gives it a little more depth, a little bit more push. Really solid for use basically whenever you want when it's warm outside. You can wear that to the office. You can wear that I said, pretty much anywhere. And one thing Pacific Rock Moss really struggled with, struggles with, is the performance. It does not project that hard. It doesn't last all that long. And I'm not saying that this is an absolute Herculean monstrosity where it's gonna, singe the nose hairs of anybody within 500 yards or meters, but it does outperform Pacific Rock Moss. Ravine Ice, if you want that PRM on the cheap. The last one, forever wanted, Elixir. It's a lot of elixirs, like I said. This one to me, really unique in the designer realm because it's gonna give you that leather note mixed with raspberry and a turdomizer. This one is as bad, if not worse, than the YSL, but Azzaro is trickier. They made it harder to see the fragrance, so you can't tell as well if it's evaporating. Well, no, I can see it in there. It could be, hopefully not. So along with that leather and raspberry, you also have citrus in here, touch of lavender, then cardamom, clary sage, and woody notes as well. So this one does two things at once. It's a little playful because of those fruity notes off the top, but then as it dries down, it is very masculine. The aromatic notes in there blending together with the leather smell ultra sexy. They cut through the cold. It works perfectly as a date night fragrance, as a night out fragrance, and compared to pretty much every other designer out there, smells really unique. Because I would say the other most popular leather fragrance for men in the designer realm is gonna be Ombre Leather by Tom Ford. And that one also top notch, just really, really good stuff. But this one hits a different kind of way. That tartness, like I said, the playful kind of nature that it has, sets this one apart a little bit from that one. And the leather, I would say in Ombre Leather, is a little bit smoother overall compared to this one. But this one has a nice little bite to it, so it helps grab attention. And there we go, guys. Those right there, some of the best are the best. Each one of these fragrances crushes in its own lane and its own style, with one caveat, which is if you're gonna go with the Y fragrance, Y Elixir, obviously the highest end one as of right now, but you could go, at least as of right this second, and get Y Le Parfum, the original version in the all black bottle before it's completely gone because it's been discontinued. But you could go for that one, and I would say I would rather have that than Y Elixir. If you want just the highest end newer one, you would get this, but Y Le Parfum, the original, if you want to get probably like the best iteration of a classy but still sexy Y DNA, I'd go for that. So a little caveat there. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.